Let's discuss my favorite person, my favorite Bitcoiner, I should say, the one and only high priest of Bitcoin, Max Keiser, and the legend of Max. I was honored to actually meet him and kick it with Max at the Max and Stacy Invitational was it last month? Or no, it was back in January. It seems like last month, but it's been a couple of months already. Wow, time sure flies. But here's a photo of me and Max. Max was sipping on the Cocomax. I also had the Cocomax. It's the official drink of El Salvador, and it's fantastic. It has a couple of shots of espresso, coconut meat. It's just amazing. It's my number one recommended drink. It's taken over the world. And if you ever go to El Salvador, ask for a Cocomax. It's incredible. But nonetheless, here's the legend of Max Keiser. Here's an overview. I made this post yesterday. Shout out to Max. I appreciate the repost. Bitcoin champion since sub $1 Bitcoin. In fact, there's records of him talking about Bitcoin back when it was 4 for $1, him and Stacy, back on the Alex Jones show way back in the day. Imagine being able to buy 4 for $1, 4 Bitcoin for $1. That's the type of OG Max is. He announced becoming a Bitcoin millionaire back in 2013. So if you run the math, you know he is worth billions of the biddy, but he lost it all in a boat accident. Happens to the best of us. What are you going to do? 1996, you may not know this, but he actually has the patent on digital assets. Here's the patent number. It was purchased by Howard Lutnick's company, Cantor Fitzgerald. So he's an OG, and they have used a part of his creation to create Bitcoin. And he believes Bitcoin is the God particle. I watched an interview I shared of Max the other day, and it's something along the lines of the cyberpunks channeled the God particle through God to get the download to invent the Bitcoin. If you've never watched that, you got to definitely check it out. But anyways, the Keiser Report, which I owe a great deal of my knowledge to, especially in the financial space, is all due to Max and Stacy. It is the greatest financial news show ever in history. It had over 2.4 billion views. Of course, he got canceled for speaking the truth in the end, but he was the biggest Bitcoin advocate on a national stage. You know what I mean? Talking about Bitcoin virtually every episode. So you got to give them massive credit on that. And of course, he's married to the fairy godmother of Bitcoin, the one and only Stacy Herbert, the head of the Bitcoin office in El Salvador. Also, he's El Salvador's senior Bitcoin advisor to Nayib Bukele. And I would dare say that Stacy and Max are single-handedly responsible for making El Salvador Bitcoin country, and obviously the creator of the Cocomax, the greatest drink of all time that made El Salvador famous. But let's dive a little deeper. The Bitcoin historian made a great post, a nice thread here on Max, and I'd like to just go through it quickly. Bitcoin champion since less than $1, advisor to a president of El Salvador, Bitcoin millionaire via 2013. December 24th of 2010, Max became the first mainstream journalist to profile Bitcoin. It was only 30 cents back then. I mean, here's the receipts in this thread. By 2011, Max openly discussed Bitcoin was a threat to the global governments. He called it the currency of the resistance. I remember this specific Keiser Report episode. We always play it often here on the stream. By 2011, Max was declaring Bitcoin the biggest story of the decade. It was a bold prediction at the time because the price was only $1 a Bitcoin. I mean, there's the receipts. And as the price ranged from $30 back to $2, Max remained relentless in his Bitcoin support. All the while, he was tweeting absolute bangers, as he shared here. Bitcoin can do to the banks what peer-to-peer did to the music industry, kill the monopolies. Receipt, November 27th of 2011. What an OG. Here again, the price was just over $3 when Max sent this. At this time, many feared Bitcoin was dead. If you hate banks, you'll love Bitcoin. Amen. By 2012, Max was telling everyone from Alex Jones to Tim Pool to buy Bitcoin. They ignored him, literally losing billions of dollars. Max put his money where his mouth was, kept buying Bitcoin and giving away more Bitcoin. And by 2013, he was one of the first Bitcoin millionaires, meaning he owned over 30,000 of the Bitcoins. And that was back then, 2013. But Max knew this was only the beginning. He knew he would never sell any of his Bitcoins. Again, more receipts. Here's when Max said Bitcoin hit 600, connecting the dots between the rise of Bitcoin and whistleblowers like Julian Assange and Ed Snowden. He says Bitcoin will euthanize the bankers. I love it. Classic. Research. Yeah, so shout out to Rizio here. the Bitcoin historian, for putting this together. And as the bull market roared in 2013, Max literally invented Bitcoin memes still used today. Here he's calling Bitcoin FU money. Here's the receipt. Bitcoin is the purest form of FU money. It is the greatest. It's great having a million or so completely outside of the system. That dated November 6th of 2013. And I can go on and on about Max Keiser because he is the greatest thing to ever happen to Bitcoin. And he'll always be an OG and the most well-respected in the space. And if you don't know, now you know. Shout out Max Keiser and Stacy Herbert.